So the recording's starting now. So from here, thanks again for coming along tonight. We've got a bit of a loose structure that we can go by, but obviously there's you two tonight, so you've got a lot more of my time or my ability, I guess, between the two of you than if there was a larger group. So just give us a bit of a rundown. So Bernie, if you want to go first on your background or your expertise in ResultsHQ.
I don't really have much experience with the ResultsHQ at all, apart from using it for my kids to look at the results. But our registrar has just moved on, so someone else has to take it over. So we're looking at trying to upskill a few members of our committee. So really I have no
background in it.
No background at all.
Okay. And what about you, Miriam?
I've gone in and I've had a little play and everything before. I was looking after the Tiny Tots, so I used to enter the Tiny Tots results in there. But our program manager has left, so we will be getting a new program manager this year. Who's starting. She hasn't quite started yet, so I thought if I became a little bit more familiar with the program, then I could help her.
Yeah, good one.
But I did actually tell her to sort of, I gave her your link and I said to her, look, can you get in touch with Nick and maybe join one of these webinars, because I think it's really important. The other thing I really want to know is how to use the carnivals, how our athletes or how other athletes can use the ResultsHQ to enter in carnivals, because I think that is, I know Deniliquin do it. So yeah, that's one thing that we don't know how to do, and I haven't really got the time to sort of sit and try and work it out myself. So hopefully I can find out how to do it.
And so if we're at shot put, we don't want to use paper, we just want to go straight and key stuff in at shot put. Is that what we're talking about?
No. Carnivals as in we're running a carnival.
Yep.
Yes, carnivals. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
so,
cool.
you know, I know there's an option where our athletes and also athletes of other clubs can go in and, and sort of, nominate what events they want to get in and pay and do this and do that. So not sure how that works. So
all right, well, we can get into a bit of that tonight as well. That's easy enough. All right, cool. So you get a good feel as to where you're both at. So I'll just bring it up to basically a bit of a high level picture here as to what it is we can do in the system. So here's all the moving parts. If you haven't ever kind of seen a picture to see what all the bits are and what they look like, hopefully this will help with that. So we've got all your registrations are coming in from SportsTG over on the left, or IMG, depending on what you're used to hearing. Are you both familiar with that?
Ours are changing now?
It has changed. Yeah, it changed last year to SportsTG.
That's right. That's why we've got SportsTG here on the left. So that's where your registrations occur there. In ResultsHQ, so we'll run through how you go about pulling members from SportsTG across to ResultsHQ. So that's just a press of a button in the centre admin area.
Can I just clarify, because I'm under the impression that ACT are now using ResultsHQ for registrations as well.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So in New South Wales, you'll be using SportsTG this season, and so we can run through how you bring across members, but they'll only come across if they're active and if they're financial. So if that's part of your role to bring the members over, then, and you're looking for Jack, where's Jack? He's a new member, I've just signed him up, why can't I see him? Go and make sure that he's active and that he's financial, then try again. That's the two main areas.
And that's pretty straightforward to do?
Yeah, so we've got a help topic on where to go and what that actually means, and we can have a look at that as well. So members register, you bring them across as often as you go and press that button, and so you could hit it 5 times in 1 week and you won't have duplicates, you would just have that one member refreshed or updated based on whatever new information you may have.
Okay.
Then down here, so that, yep.
Yeah, just before you do that though, say for example, because we're at the beginning of the new season, would we need to do a backup of last year's records or something before we do that, before we bring across the new members?
Correct. So if you haven't rolled your season over for the new season to begin, then we'll go through that as well tonight. But that's definitely the first step. So roll your season over, doesn't delete anything, it just archives your results. You can still access it and the families can still access it. And it also suspends all your members, so they're not deleted, they're just in a suspended state until they start re-registering, and then they start getting activated.
Okay, so once you roll over the season though, you can't go back in and amend records, is that correct?
Correct, so it's archived and it's waiting for the new season to be added on to this platform. Okay,
so we need to make sure that all the information is correct before. I think when our program manager left, I'm not sure whether she actually finished putting everything in, so we need to make sure that's done first, I think.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
yep.
Beautiful.
Good questions. So that ResultsHQ is in the clouds, in the web, like NetBank or Hotmail or any of those sorts of things, eBay and so on. So you must have internet for that to work, versus these other two applications below here, RaceHQ and CompetitonHQ, are there without needing internet to allow you to record results, and then when and if you have internet, go and upload that later on, or race by race or event by event.
Yep.
So do you guys have good internet down at your oval or club?
No.
Nope.
No.
We're just looking at getting internet, so we're only just looking at that.
Yep. Okay, cool. So even if you've got good internet, some clubs prefer to use CompetitonHQ to get their field events in. Even though they've got good internet and they could key direct into ResultsHQ, that's just their preference because that's just what they choose to use. So you don't have to key it in here. If you prefer to use these other applications, then use them. As long as all the data ends up back in ResultsHQ in a timely manner, then it means your families will have that benefit and they'll be able to see what it is that their kids have been and achieving out in the field.
Okay. Would it be quicker to would it be quicker to use the CompetitonHQ rather than trying to put in the information as you go?
So if you're going to use CompetitonHQ, it's quicker for centres that tend to have smaller athlete numbers and they tend to run mixed age genders together just because they've got smaller numbers, as in they've only got 15 kids from under 6 to under 8, boys and girls, and they put them all in one little group and they go around together as a happy little group. Is that the sort of size that you guys are running with, or you got individual age gender groups?
Oh no, we've got individual age gender groups. There are a couple that we combine, like we combine the boys and the girls together, the same age group, but yeah, normally just different age groups.
We're the same.
Yep.
Most of our younger have individual, but our older ones are a bit smaller and have combined ages. Yeah.
So the benefit of the offline application, CompetitonHQ, is you don't have to wait for a web page to load.
Yeah.
So you can get busy just quickly flicking around from screen to screen without needing that load time to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what some people prefer, that versus using the web.
Yeah.
So both these, their default platform is Windows. However, CompetitonHQ is now in the form of an app, so that you can download it onto your Android or onto your iOS phone or tablet and use that as well.
Okay.
So then that means, in theory, you could be at shot put keying in the 3 best attempts for John, or at high jump, and it's got the count back logic built into it. So they're then doing high jump and tick pass dash depending on if they pass, fail, or if they're sitting out, that sort of thing. And it will work out your high jump count back places based on whatever it is you've keyed in. So then that saves recording sheets. So printing recording sheets, putting them in a folder, someone writing on it neatly, hopefully, then it coming back to somebody else, then they key it in, and all those extra touches. So in theory, it's just one touch and it's done. And then that also flags anomalies. So if I put a result in and it's outside of 25% plus or minus of that athlete's average, it will flag it on the screen. Go, are you sure this isn't what I would be expecting for Jack? He's normally a 2.65 as an average, but you've keyed in a 6.65. Those sorts of things. And also it will flag PBs and records.
Excellent. Could you load these on iPads?
Correct.
And you can, yep. So you could have an iPad at shot put, an iPad at discus.
That's it.
And one at long jump and high jump, whatever they are.
Yep.
And then at the end of the night, you would just need to connect it, obviously. Oh, no, because it's Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Well, it needs to upload. So either it's got a SIM card in that iPad, or you need to connect it up to internet to be able to then upload everything that it's got.
Yep, when you get home. Yep, okay, excellent.
And when you set up a user for that application, you can either set it up as an age group or by an event. So if you happen to run with age group managers, and I'm going to have my iPad, I'm looking after the 10 males, then I'll walk around and I'll only see the events that the 10 males have. Versus we could set it up as a high jump tablet and I'll only see all the age groups that are supposed to do high jump that night. Or you can make it a super user and we'll just see everything. So it's up to you how you want to set up the users. So that's a high level picture of all the moving parts. The timing software, are you guys using, what do you use to time things at the moment?
We're just using time gates and the timing solutions yet.
Sorry, that broke up quite a bit. Just say that again.
A standard timing gate and just the handheld time.
Okay. That was breaking up a bit, so I'm not sure what's happening with the connection there, but it sounds like you've got, say, the Tassie system or the ATP timing gates, the metal frames with the cables on it. Is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So this application, RaceHQ, will let you connect your ATP or Tassie gates up to it and let you then key in the member names against the lane time places that you just recorded and then upload that data. Are you using that at the moment? So you're breaking up again. It sounds like a no.
Yep.
Okay. So check that out. There's a help topic for it. And that will save you a bunch of time, because otherwise you're printing off a recording sheet of some sort. You're getting the printout from the printer from that ATP system, stapling together. Someone's writing down a number against the lane, and then somebody then has to go and process that bit of paper later on. Is that the sort of system you've got running?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus if you had a cable connected up to your ATP box over to a laptop, instead of that printout going onto a bit of paper and then getting stapled, you'd key in or scan in the kid's number against the lane that they got, and then race by race you're saving that. And if you wanted to race by race, as you save, you'd be uploading that data too.
So Nick, are you saying that we can use that because we're using the old Tassie gate system, so you're saying that we can connect that to our the timing solution or ResultsHQ?
Correct, via RaceHQ. So it's built to talk to the ATP 201 and 301. They're the two of the later versions of that system.
Oh, okay. No, I think we're way before that.
Have you got the 101 maybe? Is there a printer?
Yes.
Okay, if there's a printer, then that should be fine. So the 201 only would let you connect one printer up. The 301 had a spare printer plug or port on the side of it. Both of those will work. The only scenario is if you're using the 201 that only has one printer plug, then you unplug the printer and you plug that cable from your laptop into where the printer would have attached.
Okay.
And then your screen becomes basically a soft copy of what the printer is producing, the information. And then it lets you key in a name against that time. So we can run through what that would look like in theory. So you get and then the help topics on that help you understand how to set that up and what's required. But it's pretty straightforward once you get your head around it.
Okay.
And it'll save you a bunch of time. So yeah, we're not forcing people to buy our gates. There's plenty of those ATP systems out there. If you've got it, cool. Keep using it and save some time and use the software.
Okay, yeah. Excellent.
Okay, and then the last part of the puzzle is obviously the families and making sure they get all that data. So sounds like, Bernie, you've been in there a bit, so you're already comfortable with what that looks like and how that works?
Yeah, yep.
Cool. All right, so moving on to what we've just talked about, just to reiterate. So we can use the timing software to get your race results in there, whether using our gates or Tassie gates or just using it as a manual stopwatch. And keep using your paper copy recording forms if you like. Or you can start to do a combination of soft copy, as in using the app, as well as hard copy from your paper to get your field results into the system. So some centres have one person trying the app out and everyone else stays on paper. Then they start to bring more people across once they're comfortable. It just depends on who's there and what they want to do.
Yep. Okay.
So probably the best thing from here is just to jump in and we'll go over that season rollover to start with. Does that sound like a good place to start?
Yep. Excellent.
Which centre are you with? Oh no, we want to actually, I'll go into the demo centre. So if you weren't aware, there's a sand pit that you can jump in, or a play area called demo. And the password is the same, demo and demo. So I'm just going to jump in here. This is just a whole bunch of data from testing and people just doing stuff. So feel free to add to that. The season rollover, we've got a little green banner up the top of your page now, which is saying, remember, it's new start of the season, you want to do a rollover. So I'll just click on that. So wherever you are in the system, if you see a green question mark, it's trying to take you to the help area that's relative to the page that you're on. Or in this case, there's a banner and it's got a link.
Yep.
So I'm going to click on that banner, on the link on the banner. And this is now walking me through what is required to do a season rollover. So I click on more and I come down to season rollover. My screen will look like this. I've got to suspend my members first. Then I have to write the word suspend in to confirm that yes, I am aware of what I'm doing and not just clicking on things because I'm bored. Once that's finished suspending, you'll then see this screen here, which is saying, all right, looks like you've got an active season, but that's the old season, so let's archive it. So you'll click on that. And then you'll put an email in, because it takes a little while for that to to archive all that data. It will send you an email when it's done. And then again, we write the word archive in capitals to make sure we know that what we're doing is what we want to do. Once that email comes in, then if you go back to that same area, you'll see that the screen's changed and now it's talking about your users. And just saying, hey, these are the users from last season. Is everyone here still relevant to the new season? If they are, cool, click approve. If not, go and fix them up, then come back here and approve them. Once you've pressed approve users, you'll then see a button here to update your season. So currently you're at last year's season, but we want to make it this season. So you click on that, put the word update in, and then it will return back and you'll see the current season is 17-18, and you're ready to start the new season. So that's what the season rollover steps are. So that whole thing, the longest part of that is waiting for the email from the archive, this part here. But otherwise, if you didn't have to wait for that whole process is maybe 1 minute long to do.
Okay.
So do that when you're ready, but do it before you start bringing in your new members.
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions on that part?
No, it sounds pretty straightforward.
Pretty good. Okay, now if we're going to do an IMG import or a STG import, the steps for that, I'm not, let me go and just turn that on for this center for a second. Because I'm in my demo center, it doesn't have IMG turned on, so I'll just go set that up. See if it works out or not. Okay, so refresh. Right, so now I've got this button here, IMG import. So you click on this. These are all the default fields that you have for it to map, so just leave those as is the normal one.
Okay.
Just press save to make sure that it's actually saved those bits. The next step in is just to put your email in and then start import process. Then when it's finished, you'll get an email that will arrive and it'll say, "G'day, we've just finished the import. We added in 15 new members and 10 families," something like that. And then you'll see your member count here will have gone up by an extra 15 members.
Okay, yep, attendance, yep.
So that's the part where if we come in here, there's a help topic, this little green button.
Yep.
This is then just talking through those steps and what you need to do that we've just physically talked about. But as far as your active and financial, that's this subject here. So if you jump into IMG or Sports TG, here, that's what it looks like to go and do this. So there's a bunch of green or blue circles. You need to make them ticks.
Yep. Beautiful. Yep.
All right. So that's that part. Now, the weekly process is normally bring your members in, add a new event to your calendar, and then from there go and start printing off your recording sheets if you're going to use those, and then go and key your data in. So in theory, we've done step one, we've brought our members in. We're now going to add a new date to the calendar.
Yep.
This is what drives your recording sheets and your results entry. So we go and click on the plus button. Give it a name. Give it a date. I can either copy an existing meet, so something that's happened previously, so I don't have to recreate something I've done in the past. I can use a template if I've gone and saved and set up templates. I could import something from Excel.
Oh, okay.
Or I can just make this a blank meet because I just want to put some dates in there as a placeholder. So if I was going to create a new meet, then I can click on male and female if I like. I can click on multiple age groups. And I can click on one or many events. And once I'm happy with that combination, I go and press add events. Depending on the size of your center and the number of age gender events you've ticked on will vary as to how long this screen takes to place. Basically, it's going and writing a little results portal for each of those athletes that fall under those age gender groups for each of those events.
Okay.
So now I've got 7, 9 and 10.
Just do a printout on the one sheet, or
you will go, we'll do recording sheets next, okay?
Okay, yep.
So now that I'm happy with that, maybe I want to layer in the 8s and the 11s, just male for some other events. So I can go and put them in. So basically just keep adding your layers if you're building out a new program. Otherwise, if you've got programs in there from previous, then you can just copy those. So now we can see we've got the 8s and the 11s and their events. So classic scenario is tonight being the 2nd was rained out, or we had rain, so we had to add on some other events. So all I do is I'd come in here and click on the eyeball for the date. So tonight's the 2nd. and we wanted to add on some events, so I'll just add on some extra events, and I'm going to add on 60. And now we've gone and added in the extra events to allow us to go and record against those events.
Okay.
So now in theory we've gone and we've set up a new date. So now we've got the 3rd that we just set up for tomorrow versus there's something already happening for tonight that somebody else had set up. So we've brought our members in, we've created a new date in our calendar with the age, gender, events. Now we want to go and print off some recording forms or recording sheets. So I can click on this button here, or I can go event recording forms. This has now the relevant events for this date that we've set up. I could go and choose my age groups and genders if I like, or just leave them all as is, and I just go straight to preview. This will then print off one age, gender, event page per age group. So here I've got 6 female 100, 6 male 100, 6 female 200, and so on. It's got their PB down the side. If there's a record, the record's on the recording sheet, who was by and when it was. If I went to print, it would split that out to one age, gender per A4 versus, so that's using regular recording sheet versus if I did condensed and go preview, we now get a different looking sheet. We've now got all the events across the top instead of on separate A4s, and I've got my athletes down the side and then their PB in that area. And then if I go print, I then see them like this. What sort of recording forms would you guys use, the condensed or the regular?
I'm not sure, sorry.
Okay, we'll have a play around and see what works best at your centre. At the start of the season, obviously there's lots of athletes that aren't here.
Yep.
So you may want to add blank lines to the recording sheet. So by clicking on this, add 10 and go preview, I'll then have an extra 10 blank lines on my recording sheet to allow randoms to turn up and for me to have a nice neat line to put their name on and so on.
Yep.
So that's recording forms. High jump's a little different. If I had high jump events set up, I'll see if there's one. There's high jump here. If I click on this one, it lays it out a bit different because high jump, as we all know, is a bit different. So here's our 10 heights, 3 attempts at each height, and do what you need to do from there.
Yep.
Questions?
Oh,
all good?
Not really.
Okay.
I'd have to play with it and then I'll have questions probably.
Yeah, no worries. That's fair enough. So the last part of that puzzle is those bits of paper have come back and we're now trying to key in those events for those athletes. So from here, I would click on the relevant date that we're trying to key results in for. Here it shows me a list of all the events that haven't been keyed in yet. So 0 of 4, 0 of 3, 0 of 28 and so on.
Yep.
So that means no one has results for these events. There's some tabs up here that say with results and without results. If I go with results, 100 metre 6 female has 1 of 4. But the default screen is to have it without results. So we won't see that event here.
Yep. Yep.
So from here, if I wanted to key an event in, I click on it. I then click on Enter Edit Results. I can start keying in whatever it is. What have we got here? 60 meters. So I'll just put in some, let's do a 10.11 tab. As I press tab, you'll notice that OK appears instead of DNS. And I'll do a 12.34 tab, and I'll do an 11.23. Then as I press enter, it says, oh, there's a new potential record because there currently isn't a record for this age group. I can either accept results in the record, or I can accept results but discard the center record. So if I do this, I've now got first, second, third for these athletes. We still don't have a record, but that's okay. And then I move on to my next event. Now if I go to with results, there'll be hundreds and the 60 meter that we just put in, 3 of 4, 1 of 4. If I wanted to see if there's any potential records, I can click on this blue button. And here's the potential records that we just created by doing that 60 meter. And if I wanted to make one of these a record, I can just click on this. And now we've got a new record for the 60 meters. So come back in here and refresh. There we go. So demo did a 10:20. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I think, yeah, Miriam dropped off. Her iPad went flat, so she's dropped off. So it's just the two of us now. She'll try and reconnect with the laptop. So from here, that's your basic weekly cycle. Bring your members in, create a new date in your calendar, print your recording forms, enter the results, and then repeat. Any questions or concerns about that?
Not about that. My role will be more.
Sorry. Sorry.
Role will be more with the registrations.
So more to do with sports TG?
No, because we're ACT.
Oh, sorry, you're in
So
ACT.
we're doing. Yeah, so we're doing our registrations for you guys.
Ah, right. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were in New South Wales. My bad. So yes,
no.
So your registrations are now with us. So cool. So let's jump into your profile if you want, since it's just the two of us. You want to do that?
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So here's your profile. You want to roll that season over when you get a chance. Then we'll come up here to setup. In setup, there's a few steps here. So will you guys want to sell anything?
No, don't think so.
Okay, so skip that one.
But I'm really new at this, so I don't really know what I'm doing.
That's all right. So you may want to sell uniforms or hats or water bottles or that sort of stuff. If you do, that's in the extras.
Yep. Okay.
Duty roster. Pretty sure most of the ACT centres weren't keen on doing that. So skip that one. If you wanted to set up any discount codes, then you could do that as well, as in have an early bird special code.
So is that sort of like, okay, so it's not if they have a family or that sort of thing with the prices?
That's separate. So this is more committees,
okay.
10% off, so I'll give you a code for committee members to share amongst themselves, that sort of stuff. Account information. So you want to give us the relevant information for us to send you your money. So put in here whatever your bank details are.
Okay.
So we know where to send the money back to.
Yep.
Terms. This is where you set up what are the centre's terms and conditions. To be a part of this member, you must agree to X, Y, and Z. That's where you put those.
Okay.
And then as people are registering, they'll have to agree to those if they want to be a part of your centre.
Okay. Is that different to what the association
Correct.
says that we're all doing?
They'll have their own version, and centres generally have their own same outcome. They're trying to get people to make sure that they're aware of all their responsibilities and so on. And so then the second last one there is message. So as people register, do you want them to get a nice message from you, from your centre, to them? If so, then make that yes, and then give it a subject, welcome to Calwel, or whatever it needs to be, and put in all your relevant information from there.
Yep.
And then questions.
Yep.
Do you have particular questions you want to find out from people, separate to just the usual phone number, address, age, gender, athlete sort of things? That's what you do here. So once you've gone and set up those relevant bits, the last piece of the puzzle is all to do with your fees. So we just come straight in here to fee structure.
Yep.
The default here is your club, because that's the only main focus. And you put in here, so under 6, do you know what your centre fee is at your centre?
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, well, let's say it's $60 or $60. Are all your, so that discounting that we talked about before for a family, if the Brady Bunch turn up and they've got 5 kids, then they get a discount because they've got 5 kids.
Yep.
You do something like that at Calwel?
Yeah, we do have that.
And that's for all age groups. It doesn't matter what age group. They're all a part of that.
No, all age groups, yep.
So basically you'd put in the age, you'd put in the centre fee, so the dollar value, and you'd make it discountable, and you go yes. So that's basically saying under 6 is $60. At this point in time, there's no association fee because we haven't set that up by the looks of that. Oh, because you're in last season still, that's why. That will change when you roll over. It will become this season instead of last. There will be a value in there. And is it discountable?
When I do the rollover, that will happen.
Yeah, so this won't get removed, but you'll then see there will be a value in the association fee.
Okay.
Because we've set fees up for them, but for the 17-18 season, not for last season.
Yep.
Now, discounts.
Okay.
So if there's 2 athletes, then you get a discount. I'm just going to make some numbers up unless you know what the discount value is.
No, I don't know.
So it's saying if 1 athlete turns up, then they pay full price. If 2 athletes turn up, then collectively they get $10 off. So $5 off each athlete in theory, something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And then select club again. If 3 athletes turn up, then we make that $15 total. And so on. So just add it out to maybe 6, assuming that's the most number of athletes you would assume to see there, and whatever the value is. So that's how you do your family discount.
Okay.
Now, a charge for a family, so it doesn't matter if you've got 1 kid or 10 kids. Do you have an additional charge that the families have to pay?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so you'd leave that as 0. And this family cap is to protect the Brady Bunches that turn up. If they turn up with 10 kids, then do you want them to pay a maximum regardless of how many kids of X dollars? If no, then just leave that and ignore that one.
Yep.
And the final part is, do you want them to pay with cash and or do you want them to pay online? So I'm not sure if you know those answers yet. I'll just save that. So that's at least the minimum is to get people to pay online and try and force people away from cash just so you don't have to process it separately and all the rest of it. So that's your steps basically. That's all you've got to focus on. So we come back here to registration and setup. Just put in the relevant bits in these ones, then jump in to fee structure and put in all your fees. Does that sound pretty straightforward?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. Have you seen what it looks like for the user? Oh, what's the club?
Yeah.
What's the club's address? Do you know that off the top of your head?
You're breaking in and out.
Do you know what the club's address is?
It's no, I can't think of it at the moment.
That's all right. Well, basically, you need to put that in here. So if they search for your centre, they're able to find it.
Yeah. It's
Am I still?
www.clac.net.au.
Okay, so Calwel. Were Street. What's the postcode there?
2905.
Just trying to find it in here.
What are you looking for?
There we go. Calwel playing fields, hey?
Yeah.
And that was in Calwel.
Yeah.
ACT. And sorry, what's the postcode again?
2905.
And we'll just go check address. Does that look right?
That's not right. That's the Chisholm Fields.
Okay. Calwel. What's that? So we get the right address in there. So I think so this is right down here. I'll put in Were Street. Maybe that will get us closer. That looks better. Submit. Okay. So when people register now, and they come here to where your centre is, they'll then see that. Okay. Any more questions to do with this? Have you got me there? Hello? Yep, you got me?
Yeah, got you now. Yep.
Any more questions to do with that?
Thank you.
Any more questions to do with that?
I don't think so. I think I just need to have a little bit of a play with it.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe if we leave it there tonight then, if that sounds like the case.
Yeah, if that's okay. And then questions I'll ask you.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks for your
time. Thank you so much
for
your help.
You too, Vernie. Thanks for your time tonight.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
No worries. Thank